Good afternoon, YouTubers. This is Joseph Magi, author of Playing Card Divination and Fortune Telling, the Magi Method. You can find the book worldwide on Amazon in Kindle and paperback versions. Find the full color card deck used here on Etsy/Magi Method. Join us on Facebook. Okay. Today I want to look at Johnny Depp. He is looking recently, after his split from Amber Heard, he is looking very gaunt, very sickly. This is a picture of him doing a meet and greet and photo op with fans in Russia. So apparently she's Russian. You can't tell from the picture. So is Johnny Depp, I want to find out, is he sick? Or is this a film role? Okay, because it's alleged that he may be playing a terminally ill college professor in a role called Richard Says Goodbye. Okay, but you never know what's going on with these folks here. Because he's had some issues. So is he sick? Or is this a film role that he's, lost a tremendous amount of weight for and is just looking really gaunt and sickly? So sick or a film role? Sick. Or a film role? Sick or a film role? Can we see those? Is that nice and nice focus? We want to get nice focus here. Okay, so is he sick or a film role? So Mother Earth, Inheritance, Broken Chalice, 24, 34, 30, 32, 33, 34, 9 diamonds. So Inheritance is very solid. Okay, Inheritance is, it's the body, it's money. Mother Earth, this is the body, and this is his entire situation. And Broken Chalice. So Mother Earth says he's healthy. He's healthy. So I'm asking, is he sick over here? He's got a broken relationship. He just broke up with Amber Heard, okay, and that's upsetting him. He was married to Amber Heard for, I don't know, a very brief time. And then she filmed him and she broke off with him, accused him of violence, and he ended up having to give her $7 million. So she was with him 7 days, he gave her $7 million. Something like that is awful. It's just horrible. And, Amber Heard is an avowed lesbian, she's known to be a lesbian. Why would you marry a lesbian? And she's not going to do that to you. Okay, so is this a film role? Okay, home, handcuffs, incubus, succubus. So he's looking very ill. The incubus, succubus could be here. Okay, this adds 12. 6 and 6 is 12. 3 spades, scourge. So through repeated effort on his home, he's committed to looking very sickly. This looks like a film role. This looks like a film role because Mother Earth is fairly healthy. Let's just ask, is he having like addiction problems? His accountant was suing him, or he was suing his accountant or his money manager. He apparently was spending $30,000 a month just on wine. Okay, and you're not just going to drink wine, you're going to do other stuff, you're going to smoke the ganja, etc. So is he having addiction issues? Let's just, make sure, because I like Johnny Depp. He's famous for a whole lot of things, but most recently he's most famous for Pirates of the Caribbean, Captain Jack Sparrow. He got a start on Nightmare on Elm Street. That was his first film role. So is he having addiction issues? Is he suffering from addiction issues? Because he looks like an addict here. That's what an addict looks like. Addiction issues. Well. Scourge, cornerstone. Is this addiction issues? To addiction. Scourge, cornerstone, and coffin, and executioner. Coffin is illness. Scourge is repeated. It can be like a hacking cough. So there is illness in his cornerstone, and King of Spades, executioner, is very organized, very systematic. And this adds 13. 8, no, it adds 11. 8 and 3 is 11. 3 clubs. He's doing something that's making him very sick, and he's very consistent about it. He's very systematic about doing it. It's part of his life. So he has a major addiction problem. He does have a major addiction problem. He's having a major addiction problem. Okay, and this is what an addict looks like. Is it drugs or alcohol? Well, we know he has an alcohol problem. He's spending $30,000 a month. So is it just alcohol, or is it like drugs? Because this is what a drug addict looks like. An alcoholic looks bloated and puffy, and the blood vessels burst in your extremities, in your face, in your cheeks. So is it drugs or alcohol, this addiction problem? Okay, well, I'm not seeing the alcohol card. Alcohol card is 8 hearts, 10 hearts. Star of Bethlehem, olive tree, 4-leaf clover, ruler. Star of Bethlehem is a drugs card. It spreads everywhere. This is also a metastases card. So drugs everywhere in his body, and he's doing them very regularly. So he has a drug problem. And ruler, so 10, 17, 5 hearts. 5 hearts is fence sitter, reacting to circumstances. It's kind of ruling his life. It's taken over his life. Drugs have taken over his life. It's the ruler. Yeah. And I've always said, and not to be cruel, that all the drug addicts I've met, I feel are actually demon possessed. They hand over living on this earth, okay, being a human being is about free will. It's about making choices. It's about choosing between right and wrong. It's about choosing between this and that. It's about making choices. That is what it is to be a human being. That's why God put us on this earth. That's why crap is so hard. Okay, so a drug addict hands over their will to the drug. The drug rules them. The drug makes their decisions. That's why drug addicts will sell their bodies, steal, murder, kidnap people. They'll do the craziest things. They'll just do the craziest things. Things that they wouldn't otherwise do because something else is controlling them. So a drug addict literally abdicates his or her role as a soul journeying on this plane. Your job as a soul is to make decisions. And a drug addict doesn't make those decisions. They leave those decisions up to the drug. So the drug is ruling and controlling his life. So he's He's having a drug problem. He could also be an AIDS patient. Does he have AIDS? Does he have a very serious STD? Does he have, HIV or AIDS? Does he have that? Because that's also what he looks like. Let's just see what we get. Because this says he's probably pretty healthy. It's just emotional. Okay. Boy, that's good. Okay. Here I wanted to know, does he have HIV or AIDS? Let's write that down. Hightower, angel, relationship, karmic relationship, and finger of God. This can be the needle, poking himself with a needle. Okay. 11, 17, 26, finger of God. He does not have angels. He does not have AIDS. He's pure. He's pure. The angel is most of all pure and holy. The angel is pure. And the body, his relationship is good. But he has, so he doesn't have AIDS. Okay, but it looks like he's poking himself with the needle. Yeah, he looks like he's poking himself with the needle. The finger of God comes from the outside. The high tower is very straight and long, and he's poking himself with the needle. He's on the needle. So he seems to have a very serious drug addiction problem. It's probably heroin. Probably black tar heroin, because that's what that's what does this. That's what makes you look like that. That's what a heroin addict looks like. That's what every heroin addict I've ever met and who's ever tried to rob me, because if you meet a heroin addict, they're going to try to rob you. Okay, if it's a woman, she's going to demand that you have sex with her and pay her money, and then she's going to rob you. She's going to rob you that way. And if it's a man, he's just going to straight up rob you. That's what heroin addicts do, and that's what they look like. Okay, so let's recap here what we're seeing. Okay, Johnny Depp is looking very ill. Okay, and I asked first, is he sick or is it a film role? Okay, I think he does have a film role, but the player card's not here. Okay, and he's not that unhealthy. He's emotionally unhealthy. This is kicked off because he's emotionally unhealthy. 22, 24, oh, 6 spades. This is 24, 6 spades. This kicked off because of his broken relationships. He recently broke up with Amber Heard. I would be devastated by what happened with Amber Heard. Man, I would just feel used and tricked. And I think that's how he feels. And he just went into a death spiral after Amber Heard. And he's obviously very upset about it. And this is immediately following his, the Amber Heard robbery, where Amber Heard, lived in his house for 7 days and then stole $7 million from him. And I'm sorry I see it that way, but that is how I see it. And I would note that no one gets married in the Western world anymore because of the kind of thing that happened to Johnny Depp. Okay, and Johnny Depp has, I think, 3 children with another woman, and she came out and said, he's never hit me. He's never done anything like that. He's not like that at all. And he was with her. He's been with her but he never married the good one. He married this terrible woman, Amber Heard. So it's about his relationship. He's just emotionally broken from his relationship. Okay, so is he... Okay, that was sick. This is film role. He may actually have a film role, 10, 12, but the player card's not here. Again, the 6 spades is showing up. So he's emotionally devastated by his recent relationships, and he just went into a spiral after Amber Heard. And frankly, I think that's what it is. I asked, does he have an addiction here? He has a very serious addiction here. And the executioner is a very organized form of evil. You know, you can get the devil card. This is more organized than the devil. The executioner says that this is an ingrained habit and it's really kind of controlling him. Okay, very sick, constantly feeding this illness. And it adds 8, 11, 3 clubs, which is 3 blackbirds. He's constantly working and feeding this addiction in a very organized way. He has like he's a creature, maybe he's a creature of habit, but he has too much spare time on his hands, too much free time, and he's just feeding his addiction very, very systematically, and he probably has people who really want to sell him these drugs. And they're making a lot of money off of him. And it's killing him. Okay, here I asked, is it just drugs or is it alcohol? Is it alcohol or just drugs? Because he pays $30,000 a month just for alcohol, just for wine. Just wine, $30,000 a month. That's crazy. Hunter S. Thompson doesn't spend $30,000 a month on wine. So Star Bethlehem is dispersing into the whole body and it's ruling him. This addiction, it's a drug addiction, is ruling him constantly and affecting his body, 11, 17, and he's just reacting. He's reacting. He's in a spiral right now. So we should be worried about Johnny Depp. Finally, I asked if he has AIDS or HIV, because this is also what an HIV patient looks like. No, he doesn't. He doesn't, but he's on the needle. He doesn't have HIV, but he's on the needle. So, if you are so inclined, I would suggest that you pray for Johnny Depp for healing, for emotional healing, and that he can pull himself back together, because it's a hard world. And it's a hard world even for somebody as rich and famous as Johnny Depp. So, that's how I see it. I'm Joseph Magi, author of Playing Card Divination and Fortune Telling, The Magi Method. You can find the book worldwide on Amazon and Kindle and paperback versions. You can find the full color card deck used here on Etsy/Magi Method. You can join us on Facebook.